What does gratitude and the Alexander technique have in common? Well, I'm going to be sharing that with you in today's video. Hi there, my name is Morgan Rysdon and I'm the creator of Center Studio, where I teach people skills to feel more comfortable more often. Now, back in New York City when I first began teaching, I had the opportunity to meet an individual who started coming to me because she had experienced an accident. So this particular accident resulted in TBI, which is short for traumatic brain injury. And basically anybody who has an injury to their brain will end up with TBI. However, the symptoms that one experiences could range. I mean, they could be vastly different. So somebody could be paralyzed, another person could be cognitively affected, nervous systems could be out of whack. It really just depends on the individual, the level of severity of the injuries that they end up having, and it can also change. So this particular individual began studying with me for very specific reasons, and as she was recovering and healing, then new things would come up while she got better in some other areas. So she taught me a lot along the way, and I wanted to share some of those with you today. So some of the things that I found really interesting working with this particular woman was things that I personally took for granted. For example, going to a store, any store, right, and buying, let's say, an apple. And what this student shared with me was the difficulty that she had with regard to entering the store and dealing with all the overwhelming stimuli that her system was taking in. So for example, the way that she described it was that, the color of the floor, the color of the lights, the sounds, the people, what she's looking for, what she's trying to focus on in the store to find the product she's looking for, and how this really caused her body to sort of jump into a fight or flight response, and this sort of anxiety and overwhelm would happen. And it was just her system was on overload. There was too much information coming in and her body really couldn't handle it, which I found pretty fascinating considering the fact that in Alexander Technique, we're always encouraging students to expand their awareness, right? To include more than just, I'm going to the store for this one thing. And yet she was sort of on the other end of that spectrum where it was way too much and we had to sort of pull back to allow her to really relax her body so that she could function more comfortably in, these public spaces. And it just made me really appreciate the fact that I'm able, friends, to go to the store and not worry about any of that. And I think that this sort of goes back to this idea of gratitude and really appreciating the things that we have, and not having to lose things before we appreciate them, right? Just being able to understand that there are so many things that are functioning and are working in our favor, even if we do have some lower back problem or a neck that's always sort of tight, or we're dealing with, say, plantar fasciitis or TMJ, right? Which all of these things are definitely things to be concerned about and to want to have maybe some shifts and changes so that you're not uncomfortable. But my friend, you probably have so many areas of your body that are functioning properly, that are not enduring any sort of malfunctions or problems, etc. And I think what my student, and later she became a very dear friend of mine, I think what she taught me was really that we take so many of these things that our brains specifically do for us all the time. Our brains are working in our favor 24/7, in fact, right? Even into our sleep, our brains are always working in our favor. And so I think that what I learned really was to expand my awareness to include gratitude of my brain and all the things that I'm able to do without having to think too much about it, or with some thought, I'm able to shift and change. And I think that for any of you who know anything about gratitude or have practiced it in the past, there are multiple studies out there that show gratitude linked with so many benefits as far as well-being and health. And that could vary from physical health to psychological health. It improves your sleep, it enhances empathy, it also reduces aggression and reduces symptoms of depression. So just by being able to either appreciate things in the form of, I'm going to write a gratitude list in my journal, or write myself a gratitude note in the morning, or I'm just going to spend time every day in the shower thinking about all the things that I'm grateful for, all the things that are already working in my favor, I think that slowly over time, you too will see the benefits that all these studies have proved time and time again. So, of course, as always, don't take my word for it. I hope that it's something that you can practice, and especially this year during a pandemic, I think now more than ever, to be able to step back and appreciate things and really just be thankful for that which we do have in this time, it's going to go a long way. So for those of you who haven't already, I would love if you would subscribe. You can do so by hitting the button below. Okay, until next time, friends, take care. Ciao.